What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Another video from the infamous Thompson'S Kennels coming live to you from Hugwoods, baby, just in case you forgot. We here with Blackberry. I said let me get an update video because I'm going to be real busy coming up. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to post like that. So I said let me get an update video with Berry. These are her two pups, black male, buckskin female. Some wild shit. She was actually due on the 12th of this month. But she dropped early. I got off. Came home, went ahead, you know, started hitting the yard, doing my little routine and stuff. And I was just looking at my yard and I could tell something went on, you know, and my yard was disturbed. And I was assuming like a deer or a big ass buzzard or something flew by and it makes the dogs go berserk and all that shit. But I said, man, I got back to my kennels when I got back there to clean. I noticed Berry didn't come out the barrel. I went ahead and swapped that doghouse that we talked about swapping. But I noticed she didn't come out her new barrel. I gave her a nice barrel setup with legs and everything on it. She didn't come out, and then I look inside, and she's in there with two big-ass puppies. And they are active. I couldn't tell you if they were born... What's up, pup? I see you, pup. I couldn't tell you what time they was born, but I know it was there yesterday sometime. But Berry is they're ready to eat. As you can see, Berry's going to lay down and let him nurse. Come here, pup. I'll let you nurse. Come here. Let sister calm down. Sister's asleep, but the male's, he's buck wild. But she was in there with two puppies, man. Real wild, some real wild shit. I can honestly say, I mean, she had everything cleaned, gave birth, no problems. No assistance, man. This is the first breeding we did with Berry since we reacquired her back from BYK Kennels, but we couldn't be any more pleased with what we're seeing. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed. This wasn't a large litter, and I really don't care for large litters, to be honest with you. I like very small litters, so I'm not upset at all. It's less dogs to have to go through, and it's just easier for me. So... two pups thing does not have me upset. And plus, I'm a very humble individual. I believe in, you know, whatever God blesses me with, I'll be happy. Because I've seen this go horribly wrong where you could lose a good female. You could lose the pups and the female. So anytime my females are blessed and to even have a pup and be healthy and I could walk away and not have to worry about burying somebody, you know, I'm going to be very humble about the situation. And plus, this was a double up breeding off a buck. This is the first time we bred Buck back to any of his offspring. So this is the first breeding we ever did a double up on with Buck. And I'm going to be quite honest, I didn't really want a bunch of people running around with this. And, you know, maybe that's just me being selfish, but hey, you're going to get 100% honesty over here at Thompson'S Kennels. I really didn't want a bunch of people running around with this stuff. So, and we're usually with our males, depending on their temperament and how they act, if we can hold off till later on when they're older to try to do some tight breedings with them, we'll do that. And that's what we did with Buck. Like I said, this is the first time Buck has ever been bred to any of his offspring. So, you know, this is going to be something new that I'm going to be seeing. So this has been real beautiful, man. I mean, normally this could have been a bad disaster because she was in the kennels back there with the other dogs and they going berserk, and sometimes a mother giving birth, you know, this could be a real stressful situation. But Berry was just as calm and cool and collective when I rolled up on her and her two pups. I couldn't be more pleased with this bitch. This female was reacquired back from BYK Kennels, and she's a certified bulldog. This is, like I said, I always have her in my videos. This is one of my son's favorite dogs. And grew on me is one of my favorite dogs temperament-wise. I love to take Berry on walks and stuff. You know, she's, like I said before in one of the earlier videos we posted about Berry, she's a very well-rounded dog, knows when to turn it off, on. She doesn't knock kids over and all that stuff. She's just a true sweetheart. Like I said, this was one of the original crosses. The original crosses I did when I was messing with the Red Boy Jocko, Boyles, Bolio stuff. Like I said, Berry is no spring chicken. Berry is 6 or better. So I had to like actually look at an old video, some paperwork. Yeah, she's up there in age, but she handled herself great. Like I said, we got a male and a female. And like I said, I always stay blessed. This little female looks really good. They're nursing great. She's taking care of them. Of course, heating pad underneath here for people that were wondering what this piece of metal is. There is a heating pad underneath here. I have a window cut out for ventilation. It is creeping up on summertime, so we're getting warm out here. So, you know, and make sure you have proper ventilation for your pups. And, you know, like I said, the heating pad is sufficient. I'm not going to use a heat lamp in here because the heat lamp may affect her, because she doesn't need to be warm right now. It's beautiful weather outside. She just needs to be comfortable. The pups need to be kept warm. Like I said, these pups are about a day old. And like I said, I couldn't be any more pleased. The female has already nursed. As you can see, if you pay attention, people was asking me about these pups. You're going to see a twitch every now and again. That's the nervous system establishing itself. So, you know, with young puppies, you want to see them have that twitch. It's nothing to be nervous about, like why they twitching. It's just their nerve endings growing dramatically. And as you seen her head just do that. I don't want to mess with her too much. Like I said, couldn't be any more just surprised, man. I never really had dogs come in and give birth early. This was the first, and everything go right. So it was the first. I know, baby. This was the first go around for everything, man. Was surprised because I only did one stick with her and Buck. It was one of those things where I wanted to get it done, but I wasn't chasing it. So I said, you know, I'm going to just stick them one time and see how it turned out, you know. And what I wanted turned out perfectly. I got a male and a female, and I walked away with an intact female that's not on her way out on death's door or anything. So this was a really, really, really good thing, even though it didn't happen exactly the way I wanted to happen. But I'm always proactive. I had the high box already ready for her and everything. Most of the normal questions I get emailed about. Of course, I don't use bedding I don't use anything. I don't introduce anything foreign to these pups at this age. No, she'll clean them. She'll do everything she needs to do with these pups. I don't need to put bedding in here. I don't need to have anything that can get stuck in their mouth or something where they can't nurse. None of that. We do bare wood with our heating pad, and she has enough room where the mother doesn't have to be on the pad, because like I said, this is not a circumstance where she's going to have to be warm. Just the pups need to be warm. I like this little female here, man. But this was just one stick. And like I said, Buck is not a dog that we actively breed. We have dogs and offspring and all of the great stuff off of Buck. But we don't breed Buck frequently. I don't really breed any of my males too frequently. I have such a large rotation of dogs I use. And I'm always kind of focused on my program moving forward. So if I already have an established male, I try to get established offspring off of that. And, you know, I've had some ups and downs in these dogs where I've lost some great dogs, but for the most part, my record is pretty solid. So I'm just not mass producing off of one male. You know, I have a plethora of solid males that can carry the load. Russia is behind her. Russia's got a fairly good gap behind her, but she would be the next one due. Where I had some weird stuff happen on this yard, man. I had more females come in the heat at the same time than I ever did my entire tenure in dogs. I've got probably about almost 90% of my females in heat right now. So we are talking about Miss Hustle. Black Mary is also coming this season as well. Black Mary would be a daughter off of my Proud Mary dog, and everybody knows how much I like the Proud Mary stuff. Of course, Proud Mary would be the grandmother to Black Orca and Blue Ivy. Both of those dogs would be off of Black Mary. So, you know, our Proud Mary dog is pretty much retired. We don't breed her anymore. She just lives out of her life here. We take good care of her. She's just on straight family companion type of level right now. She's got to be over 10 years old. So, you know, I'm debating, do I want to mess with Miss Hustle or if I'm going to go ahead and do something with Black Mary. We also have a half brother to Black Mary, both sided by Proud Mary, our Geronimo dog. And we got Flash. Flash is the scheduled breeding for Black Mary, but Mo has been really impressing me as of lately. Mo is a very solid animal. So, you know, I got some decisions to make while these females are in their heat cycle. You know, I may do something, I may not do anything at all. Don't know. I'm more of a person when it comes to these dogs. I go with my gut instinct. I just don't be doing stuff to be doing it. It's got to be calculated. It's got to make sense. And when you're dealing with older dogs, like some of these dogs that I'm using here, Black Mary is not a spring chicken. Of course, Blackberry Hair is not a spring chicken. Miss Hustle damn well ain't no spring chicken. So you really want to be calculated about what the moves you're making, and you got to be realistic with yourself. Anything can happen with these animals. So if you roll the dice, you really want to be rolling the dice for something that you really need. And anything with older females is stuff that I need right now at this point. But I know a lot of people are heartbroken. They were hoping they would be a large litter. And like I said, we don't know how the cookie crumbles. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens and transpires. You know, it may be a lucky individual who has the right situation. You know, I will rehome a dog if it feels right. But I don't have to. That's the greatest part of being in the situation that I am. You know, people take it as me being cocky, but I literally do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't have to sell dogs. If I want to keep a litter, I can keep a litter. I have the space to do that. So everything is just basically my gut instincts, what I've seen in these dogs over time, and that's pretty much how we do it over here. But not gonna make this video too long. Just want y'all to see these pups. Because like I said, I haven't been as active as I wanted to be on my social media page. But, you know, the real money calls. You know, it's getting hot, heating in air. Everybody knows what I do for a living. So this is the time of the year where I really cake up. So we'll keep you guys tuned. Russia is up next. Hopefully, God willing, we can have the same scenario with Russia where we have healthy pups and a healthy mother. And like I said, I'll keep you guys posted on the Miss Hustle and Black Mary move in a minute. We'll see how it goes. Hey, watch yourself. Oh, he was just laying on your leg. They're eating real good and everything, like I said. And Barry couldn't be any more proud of you, baby girl. And like I said, she is a certified bulldog. No assumptions made here. Hope all is well in YouTube land. Y'all have a blessed one.